It's a true story. All my stories are true. There was a family that came to me, and this kid who was a kip, who was very, very, very full of anger and breaking every family rule. And he was violent. He threatened to kill his mother. He broke his father's nose, and he seemed to be like a very, very horrible person. And one day, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, the kid came home to the kitchen, put on the radio, full blast. In those days, people used to have like a radio, full blast. A bunch of other kids are sleeping in the house. The parents were sleeping. The father hears this. Normal father, not TP father, normal father, what do? Goes downstairs in his gotchkas, whatever, and he goes downstairs, and now what? You better shut that radio. What do you think you're running this house? You're waking everybody up, crazy. Okay, without thinking, that's what you got to do. So he goes ahead and he starts to run towards the radio. Problem is, the kid blocked him. So now we have a confrontation. We'll do it in slow motion, right? You see what's happening? The father's going and he's trying, and the kid's standing in front and he's blocking him. Now, it's in a kitchen. If there would be a knife or a fork or a spoon or a blender or a challah maker nearby, we could have a very, very painful and bloody situation. Okay? But Baruch Hashem, there were no utensils around in the sink. So what happened was, all of a sudden, the kid's blocking the father. Father's trying to reach it, and the kid is blocking him. Father gets very smart. I'll show you. Now we have a war. Goes down to the basement, shuts the breaker. How you doing? Shuts the breaker, the music, no problem. It was a great, great move until he tried to come back up. The kid locked the father in the basement with the door and blocked the door. Shut the lights. I mean, how did it end? With Shomrim coming at 2:30 in the morning to a war. Now, did the father accomplish anything? No, because he ended up causing this child to be much, much more damaging, dangerous, bringing down the other kids, lahachis, and it came to the point that I was called to the house. Shomer wanted me to see on a different occasion. The kid basically broke all the glass in the house. There was glass shattered everywhere. Interesting story, because I don't go on Shomer calls. I don't even remember why I was there. Shomer was there. Hatzalah was there. It was a huge mess, but happens to be that same kid who everybody would say, for sure he's a Ben Saira Myra. He came to Home Sweet Home a few years later. Actually, one of the Shomrim guys, one of the great tzaddikim out there, one of the angels, brought him to Home Sweet Home because he got friendly with him. Actually, at that call that I was at years before, that's when he got friendly with him. And now it's like 4 or 5 years later, and the guy says, I got a kid for you to bring to Home Sweet Home. It ended up being that kid. Angry, cursing, so angry. And mamish, within a very short time in Home Sweet Home, his whole exterior melted away. We ended up with a sweetheart. Like every single Home Sweet Home volunteer and host loved having him over. An easygoing sweetheart. Within the year, he graduated Home Sweet Home, completely Shemitah Torah mitzvahs, no drugs, nothing bad. He's actually in Shidduchim now. He wears a nice little black hat like the rest of his family. And if anybody has a girl who's looking for a stable guy, he works. He has consistently kept his job. He has savings. He's an amazing success story and a heck of a guy, great, great, great guy. So the father said, okay, well, what should I have done? When you don't want to escalate the situation, what should I have done? So I said, tell you what works. Imagine if you have a father. First of all, if you do TP, these stories really, really don't happen because they only happen when there's a lahachas. So maybe in the beginning of TP, once you have a relationship with a kid and you're the one who gave him money to go out and have a good time at night and you bought him his cigarettes and you did all the things that everybody says, how could you do? They don't understand what you're saving. You're saving, you have peace in your house. Everybody sleeps through the night and you don't have to worry if he's going to come out. Everybody's shaking their head because you know what it's like. You know, it's on black and white on paper. It's like, whoa, you're going to support them? How could you supply them? You know how? Because the other way is horrible and painful and your whole house goes crazy and nobody sleeps. Here, besides the fact that it's a smart way and it's a derech arucha she ktsara and it brings them back, besides for that, it just temporarily also calm in the house, peace in the house, so they don't do it. But in the beginning, if they do it, So imagine if I would come downstairs and I wouldn't be tense, because you can't react tense. And I realize what my tafkid is. And I want to fix the situation without it escalating. I want to save the police and Shomer from being at my house. And I want to fix the situation so in a few months from now, this would never even enter his mind. What do? Go downstairs and dance. Just be downstairs and just start dancing with the music. Sounds crazy. Just 30 seconds. The kid's reaction is going to be like, he's waiting for a fight and you come down. He's be like, okay? Give it 30 seconds. Show. I'm not out to kill you. I'm not out to hurt you. After 30 seconds, you give a nice dance. You could dance with him. He's going to be like, okay, whatever. So you're weird. And then after 30 seconds, you say, do me a favor. Keep it a little down. The kids are sleeping. For sure they're going to do it. Because there's no fight. There's no lahachas. So I said this years ago here in the group. And there was a father who was here. And that night he went home. And guess what happened? Mamish unbelievable. The kid and his friends got into his car. Somehow he got his father's keys. Put it in the driveway. Turned it on. Blasted the music. Whoa. The whole neighborhood was shaking. Okay, now the father has a bunch of kids sleeping in the house. And he gets woken up in the middle of the night. But he remembered what I said. So what would he have done? Are you crazy? You better shut this right now. Da, 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 da. He would have gone in front of the car and banged on the hood. The kid would put the car in drive. Have a nice day. Okay? It doesn't solve anything. Instead, headlights were on. Kid is in the car with his friends, smoking up, hotboxing the car. And all of a sudden the father appears. The mustuknoi shel aviv. Father appears and he's in front of the headlights. Don't do a hara. That's not going to work. Don't do Hasidic dancing. Just try to do whatever it is. Just move your hands and make it fun. Okay? 30 seconds, a minute. Feels like a long time. And then all the kids burst out laughing. And it just diffused the whole situation. He went over to the window, knocked on the window, said, guys, having fun? Do me a favor, please. Kids, sleeping. Please, keep it down. They shut it. Ad kan oimrim b'Shabbos hagadol. That's it. You have to diffuse the situation. Now, by the way, this father, very smart guy, already had a relationship with his kids, so it worked after one time. Let's say it doesn't work the first time. And it works 3 times, 5 times, 7 times. It's going to work faster than the other way. Badik umanusa. We don't fight, because when you fight, you lose. You can never fight with someone who has nothing to lose. You will always lose. You go to a bar, not that we do that, and there's a drunk guy and a sober guy. The sober guy can never fight with the drunk guy because the sober guy is within a box. You could punch him in the face, you could punch him in the stomach. The drunk guy can think of anything, can take a bottle, break it over your head and kill you. He has nothing, he doesn't have the seichel to stop, so there's a whole different category. A sober guy will never win a fight against a drunk guy. A healthy person will never win a fight against an unhealthy person. You can't win a fight against someone who has nothing to lose. Okay? Therefore, you always have to diffuse the situation. Hopefully it'll work the first time around. If not, it'll work in the future. Your kid has to look at you not as you are my enemy, I am your enemy. This kid, by the way, one of the things he did when he was his parents' enemy, which was for a few years, he took Lysol or he took a deodorant or something and he sprayed it on the fire alarm, on the thing, whatever. I didn't know that. And it made the sprinklers and everything go off. Another time he went ahead, I can give you a whole list. And the crazy thing was that when he moved into Home Sweet Home, he was really at odds with his father. The night before, the father called me up. I'm going to call the police on my son, but my wife just reminded me, he's moving into you tomorrow. If I call the police, is that going to stop you from taking him? Because we don't want him home anymore. And I said, yeah, if you call the police, I can't take him. So he didn't call the police. They delivered him the next day to me. But here's the Pella. In 9 months, he turned around so much. They graduate after a year. After 9 months, it was 3 months before graduation, the parents came to TP. So they had 3 months. And the day after he moved out, when he moved out from Home Sweet Home, they dropped their first bomb. They did their first letter in Home Sweet Home. I have pictures. He hugged them. And he moved into their house where he's living for the last few years. So we can always turn around. Nobody's violent. They feel judged. They feel like I'm the black sheep. They're frustrated. When you're meitav to them, turn around the situation. True story. All my stories are true.